Hi there, this is Penelope. This is FS3128, topic 4, class 4, and we're still doing algebra. We're doing the third topic on algebra. In this video, we're going to be looking at solving quadratic equations. And a quadratic equation, as we've looked at before, is something that has a squared term and no more than a squared term for the x or whatever variable that you're talking about. So if it's written like ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, then, as an example, we could look at x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Now, we've already simplified this by factorizing. We've already said that we could rewrite the left-hand side as x plus 2 times x plus 3. Remember, there's a times sign in there. Now, if we think a times b equals 0, in other words, if two numbers multiply together to make 0, then either a is 0 or b is 0. So either one of the numbers is 0 or the other one is 0. So we apply the same logic here. So we've got that x plus 2 times x plus 3 equals 0. So either x plus 2 equals 0 or x plus 3 equals 0. Now those are easy linear equations to solve now, so we can solve those to say that x equals -2 or x equals -3. And that's the working that you need to show for any problem like this. So we simplify by factorizing, and then we make use of this rule that says if two numbers are multiplied together, then one of them must be 0. Let's have a look at some examples. All we need to do first is to factorize. So let's look at number 1. We can factorize that. We need two numbers that add to make -7 and multiply to make +12. How about -3 and -4? And that's equal to 0. Remember, we can't solve it unless it's equal to something. If it's equal to 0, now we can say that either x minus 3 equals 0 or x minus 4 equals 0. And they're now linear equations we can solve. X equals 3 or x equals 4. The second one, let's factorize that. So x and x. We need numbers that add to make 2 and multiply to make -8. So maybe +2 and -4. Yes, that works. So then x plus 2 equals 0 or x minus 4 equals 0. So x equals -2 or x equals 4. For number 3, x equals 0. That looks like it's a square. X plus 2. So either, now these are both the same, so you don't need to go through the whole either business for this one. So therefore x plus 2 equals 0, x equals -2. For the next one, we need, remember from when we did factorize these, we need 2x in the front bracket. And now we need numbers that multiply together to make 12. Probably 6 and 2 or 4 and 3. 4 and 3 works. So we've got 2 4s are 8 plus 3. So that's how it works. So therefore either 2x plus 3 equals 0 or x plus 4 equals 0. So 2x equals -3, x equals -3 over 2, or x equals -4. They're not always going to be nice factorizable equations. Sometimes we're going to try for ages and factorize them. Nothing happens. So in that case we say, okay, if we've got our equation written like ax squared plus bx plus c, then x equals, and there's a rule for it. So there's a nice big rule. And you just have to learn it. It'll be given to you in the formula sheet at the end of the course or during the tests. During the tests, when you create your own, you need to put that into your formula sheet, but it's just a way of finding x if it doesn't factorize. Now, sometimes what you're going to do is you're going to think, oh, no, it doesn't factorize, so I'll use the formula, and then when you get to the end, it's, oh my goodness, I actually could have factorized that. But that doesn't matter. You can use this formula anytime. Sometimes it's just quicker to use the factorizing method if it factorizes. Number 1. X is going to be equal to, now I like to write out a equals negative, negative 4, no, not even that. A equals 1, B equals negative 4, C equals 2, because now I can put them directly into the formula. X equals negative B, so it's negative, negative, so it's positive 4. Negative 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 2 all over 2 times 1. And just to pause there while I use my calculator, and we get some not very nice numbers which we can approximate, so that x is approximately equal to 3.414 or 0.5858. So those are just approximate answers. Number 2. Again, write out that A is 3, B is 6, C equals negative 2. So x equals negative 6 plus or minus square root of 6 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 2 all over 2 times 3. And checking that on the calculator, we find that x is equal to approximately 0.873 or approximately negative 6.873. And for the third one, A equals 2, B equals negative 14, C equals 1. So x equals, now negative 14 is positive 14 minus 4 times 2 times 1 over 2 times 2. We'll use the calculator, and that gives us the answer that x is approximately equal to 6.9278 or 0.0722. Now, this part of the formula has some implications about how many answers there are. If you look at the ones that we've done on this slide, they've all got 2 answers, but they might not have 2 answers. So think about this for a moment. So we've got the formula x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. If this bit under the square root sign is 0, then all we've got, say if that goes, if that's 0, then x is equal to negative b over 2a. There's no other bit, so there's only one solution. Now let me see if I can rub that out. Yep. If the thing under the square root sign is positive, then we're going to invoke the plus or the minus, and there will be 2 solutions. If, on the other hand, the bit under the square root sign is negative, so in other words, if b squared is less than 4ac, then x in real terms doesn't exist. So all we can say is that x is not a real number. As it transpires, it's an imaginary number. Or a complex number.